Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to show you how I stretch my splits in all three directions. So first I start out with a low lunge to really open up my back, quad, and hip flexor. The front of my legs get so much tighter than my hamstrings, so this is crucial for me before going into the splits. I typically have pretty flexible hamstrings. Get really tight in the front of your legs up through your hips. This is a great movement to do before any stretch. So now I'm going to slowly go into my splits, and I've got a couple pillows stacked up, and I only do this when I have a lot of time, and I definitely have a lot of time right now, so that I can keep my hip alignment. Basically what this means is that you want your hips pointed straight forward, and having the pillows to elevate you is going to give you the chance to make sure that everything is perfectly lined up before you sink all the way down. This is also a great tip for beginners. So if you don't quite have your splits yet, even if you're like a foot off the ground, just stack up a few pillows to elevate you enough that you are comfortably uncomfortable. So I have a strap, and I just use that to, again, keep opening up that quad. Oh, and thank you, Sequoia. So that smudge is going to be there for the remainder of the video. I hope you're all okay with that. So now you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we're going to move into the middle splits. This is by far the worst, so I try to get as comfortable as possible. I found a YouTube video to watch and just hung out. I think I was here for about 20 minutes. But as I got more comfortable, I removed a pillow, waited another 5 to 7 minutes, felt a little bit more comfortable, removed the last pillow, and then I just kind of hung out until my video was over. So if you're not in this stretch right now, you could be until this video is over. Just saying. All right, so I finished in frog pose. If you're working on your middle splits and let's say maybe you have some knee problems, frog pose is a great alternative to open up your inner thighs without putting any pressure on your knees. So if you wanted to start with frog pose before going into a straddle, then that's a great option as well. All right, so now we're gonna get into handstands. I always start my handstand practice with a wrist warm-up. This is going to make the biggest difference because doing your handstands is a lot of pressure and tension in your forearms and in your wrists. I was so surprised how much I used my forearms while doing a handstand because you really are gripping the floor and using your fingers to shift your weight. So keeping your wrists healthy is going to mean you get to practice your handstands for a lot longer. So don't skip this step. So I started incorporating these kick-ups into my warm-up, and this is not how I learned to do a handstand, but it's been a fun thing to add in. This is a more gymnastics approach to handstands, and I learned handstands mainly from doing yoga and through self-practice, but inspired by yoga. So your hands are always planted on the ground. So basically what I started doing is I'll do 5 kick-ups without my hands on the ground and then 5 with. So I'll do 10 total on each side. And ideally you're going to start out with your most awkward side first. So when I started learning my handstands, I prefer to have my hands planted on the ground. I make sure I'm all set. Hands are shoulder distance apart. My index fingers are pointed forward with maybe a 5-degree angle outward, and my gaze is set just in front of my index fingers. All of those components are really hard to have set up if your hands aren't already planted on the ground. So as a beginner, I think it makes more sense to check all of those boxes than it is for you to start a handstand from standing. All right, and then I am going to take you through the rest of the drills in the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, now we're gonna do handstand kick-ups on the wall with my bad leg. I actually should have started with my bad leg, but I forgot. Okay, so I'm gonna do 5 where I kick up like I just did, and then 5 with my hands planted on the ground. feels so awkward. Ugh. Do 2 more. Ooh. My shoulders are so sore from my workout. Oh. I like having a variation between kicking up into the wall, but then also, if you're gonna train handstands, you definitely want to, you are killing me. Lay down right here. Come here. That's a good girl. So good. Thank you. Okay, but then you also want to train with your back against the wall like we were just doing, so kicking up into it, but then rotating and facing the wall. The reason for this is that it's really easy to compensate in a handstand, meaning if your core is not active, you're gonna have what's called a banana back, which is where you really arch. And if your back is against the wall, it's really easy to be here. And we don't want you to learn to be in your handstand in this position. We want everything to be nice and straight. So kicking up into handstand that way is great because it's kind of building confidence, but we also want to face the wall so that you have proper alignment. Another one of my favorite drills, this is actually the drill that I would say at the end of every workout, which is 4 to 5 times a week, I did this drill. This was probably the biggest help in me learning my handstands because I learned how to do my handstands with a split leg first, because for me, having my legs split allowed me to learn how to shift my weight back and forth versus having my legs straight up where, you know, once your weight shifts, it's hard to correct it. That drill is here. You're gonna get your hands leg distance away from the wall. So this is how you measure. We're gonna plant your hands right where your heels are. So that's where my hand distance is. Okay, and then we're gonna walk up onto the wall. And now you see you're in this perfect L. And then you're going to lift one leg up. And then now I'm just gonna point my toe, and that's gonna shift me forward fully onto my hands, and then just float off of there. Just let it. So you notice that I let my weight shift forward instead of kind of jumping into it. For example, I have seen a lot of people that try, you need to just, I love you, but just lay down, right there, lay down. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, talk to me. I have seen quite a few people when they're in the early stages of learning how to do a handstand. They are not fully stacked, so go back and measure. So their shoulders, their hips, their wrists are not fully stacked on top of each other. So then they have to rely, so let's say my hands are a little bit too far back, like over here. They have to rely on themselves kicking and shifting their weight into it, like this. And then what happens is you now have to work harder to overcorrect. Versus if you were fully stacked with your hips, your shoulders, and your wrists all on top of each other, then all you gotta do is float. So as you can see, I still feel significantly more comfortable in a handstand with my legs split, because for me, when you're in, like for example, when I have my knee tucked into my chest, what that does is it automatically engages my core and tilts my pelvis forward. Try to tilt your pelvis back if your knee is up. It's pretty hard to do, and your knee naturally drops. But if I drive my knee into my chest, it posteriorly tilts my pelvis under. If my pelvis is tilted under, then I'm in a nice straight line. If it's not, like if I'm here, it looks like this. Because I'm still working on that core strength to be able to correct that in my handstand. So, this is a way for me to kind of cheat that a little bit.
I will go with you. Watch the ocean kiss the moon. Run away with me. Where the morning paints the sea. Where the fire, we're the glow. We found love, we won't let go. In the twilight of the night, see the colors burst in the sky. Watch the world.
We are just sitting on our back little porch. We heated up some leftover Thai food from last night, and we're just trying to enjoy a little bit of fresh air. This one's being a weirdo as usual. What you doing?
What do you smell? What do you smell?
We ordered both Thai food and pizza last night, and Tobin had pizza for breakfast, and now we're having leftover Thai food for lunch.
It's a circle of life.
That's right. We know how to order takeout.
Just order all
We know
of
what
it.
we're doing. Exactly. Don't decide. Postmates, go for it. It's fine. No big deal. So this is like a basil chicken and green beans, and I just sauteed it up with some rice. Time to take our face masks off. Oh yeah, I forgot. Lover's making English muffins.
English muffins. For my English muffin.
Sure. I'm cool with it. Some starter going right there. He's got the recipe out, making a poolish.
Poolish. Look
Poolish. And I have some bone broth that I'm simmering. So there's just a bunch of chicken bones that I've stored in the freezer until I had enough to make a full batch, and a whole yellow onion, some apple cider vinegar, and a ton of water. And that's it. I just browned the chicken bones and a little bit of oil at the bottom of the pan until I got like a little bit of color on them. Our oven is still on the fritz. Otherwise, I would have preferred to roast them at like, excuse me, at like 450 degrees. We settled for
Trying to be quiet.
we settled for just pan searing them, so that'll be enough. Okay, I'm gonna go because you keep making noise. Bye. I don't think I showed you guys which one this is. That's great. This is the Ordinary Salicylic 2% mask. I love this mask so much that I just got a second one, and it just came in the mail today, along with Niod Hyaluronic Acid Complex, so multi-molecular hyaluronic complex. So there are 15 different types of hyaluronic acid in here, and a hydrating serum is the one thing really missing from my routine. So I wanted to grab this and add that in. So I'll use it for the first time today, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now I'm gonna let my skin dry completely, and then we're gonna dermaplane. Now that my skin is fresh and exfoliated, it'll be the perfect canvas for dermaplaning, because dermaplaning is not great if you have a lot of texture on your skin. So when I was really struggling with my hormonal acne, I could not dermaplane. So I actually have a friend that works at a med spa, that used to work at this other med spa, and they wanted to use me for a demo of dermaplaning where they were educating their estheticians to do it. I kid you not, they sat me down on the table, and the instructor was getting ready to dermaplane on me, and she had one look at me and she was like, I can't do this on her. She has too much texture. Basically, they would have to move around all of the spots that I have texture. I immediately got off the table, ran into the next room, and called my mom crying. It was awful. So if dermaplaning is not something that you can do, don't fret. It's okay. It's not the one thing that has magically transformed my skin. Basically, you were just sloughing off excess dead skin, and also like just little peach fuzz that you'd have on your face. There are other ways to do this. If you do have textured skin, use a Foreo, some gentle exfoliator, use a chemical exfoliant. Those are going to have really similar effects. So if dermaplaning doesn't work because you have any texture on your skin, do not feel bad. I have been there, I have felt it, it sucks. There are treatments that you just can't do. Microneedling, for example, at home derma rolling, you can't do when you have active breakouts. So when I'm around my period, I don't dermaplane and I don't derma roll at home. There are certain treatments and things that I just don't do before my period. I am PMSing right now, so I have like some funky irregularities with my skin, but it's clear enough right now that I can show you what's going on. But other than that, I really do pay attention to the condition my skin is in and then vary my treatments based on that. We are going to get into it. I just wanted to give you that disclaimer and just let you guys know that I sympathize with you, and I've been there and still am there sometimes. My skin has moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm exactly where I was 2 years ago, even though I know I've improved a lot. These are little dermaplaning razors from Dermaplus, and they're just like this, but I have these from CVS, like legit from CVS. It's not going to be like a medical grade blade. But honestly, they are pretty darn similar. But I'm gonna use the Dermaplus one. Let's see if I can do this and like look at myself at the same time. So you're just gonna go in little strokes at kind of like a 45-degree angle. Lover, you need to wash off your mask.
Yeah.
And then like around my nose, just because I'm left-handed. So on the left side of my face, it just makes more sense. Gotta get the moustache, you know? Well, also, if you guys have ever wondered how I do my brows, this is literally it. When I dermaplane, I'll just go in like this. Like this. I'll go up like this. And just get the like 3 little stragglers I have. Grab our hyaluronic acid. We want to put that on first because it gets absorbed into the skin the deepest. So I'm going to let's do 5 drops to start. The instructions say a small amount. Okay, so it's like pretty watery. I think I need a little bit more. Okay, it's nice because it's very water-like, but it still has like a serum-y, slippery, almost like it kind of leaves the skin slightly tacky consistency, which I like. Things that are just straight watery are like so hard to work into the skin, so I like that a lot. Look at this girl. Her favorite place to lay is in the bathroom. Okay, I'm gonna use Drunk Elephant Lala Retro and Indie Lee Squat. Is it focusing?
It's as many hands
Oh,
as
there
possible.
it is. Perfect. Squat Lane, and I just mix the two together. And you just go. Wow. Drop 2, 3. Oh wait. 2, 3, 4.
I know how to. I know how to.
Hey, after your mask, you need some moisturizer too, mister.
Where is it? Did I get it myself?
Yeah.
What is this?
I'm getting it for you.
Bogus.
This mixture together, the oil with the Lala Recto, is so nice.
This is my Jack Black. My Jack Black authentic and original clean break registered trademark oil-free moisturizer with inorganic white tea and niacinamide
Niacinamide. There's niacinamide in that?
and niacinamide.
That's a great ingredient.
I love this because I probably only use it maybe once a year.
Probably. You have mask all on the side of your face.
When
Are you
I feel
gonna
really
rub
dry.
the mask into your skin more?
when I feel dry.
Why are you ignoring me?
I'm trying to do my blog.
Oh my goodness.
When I feel dry, it really moistens my skin
Oh. So moist.
just with moisture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those niacinamides really help.
Anything sound good for dinner?
No.
Will you bring me my cider?
No.
Oh. Thanks. Oh. That was great.
You want to watch a show with me in here while I Lego? Don't have to.
I would love to.
Love you.
Love you.
Need anything?
No, how about you?
No.
Oh, I zoomed. Oh, I'm zooming. Good morning. I just woke up and Tobin's making English muffins. I literally only got out of bed because I couldn't hold my pee in any longer.
Butter. So like, that's them with the butter, that's them with no butter. What do you think?
I don't like the no butter.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just gonna do the rest with no butter. It's like we can put butter on them and they feel like, they just get that kind of like soggy.
Yeah. Cooked in butter. Not cooked in butter.
Cooked in butter. Not cooked in butter. But
I'm gonna open one. Tobin's already eaten 3, but
could you do it a little slower?
I can't. Wanna see?
I literally just ripped it open.
Well, this is how you're supposed to do it. To get all the crannies.
All the grannies.
Yeah. See? Look at those crannies, yo.
Mine had crannies too. It's got a crust.
It does have a crust. The sourdough is so good.
Mm-hmm.
A good crust and then it's so doughy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But not doughy, it's like soft.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys gonna go run? Are you gonna go run?
I've been coming alive, I've been coming alive again. I've been learning to fight, I've been learning to fight again. I was holding on for dear life, living out of touch, but now feeling like I'm born again.